When you're sat in an office cubicle doing a job you don't particularly enjoy, or maybe even find soul destroying, day after week after month after year, with a narcissistic boss that greets you with all the humility of Satan in a suit, when you've just come out of a relationship or worse, a long, drawn out, expensive divorce, when the bills are mounting, the debt's increasing, and there's more days left at the end of the month than there is money, when your social circle has diminished to the point where the only phone numbers you've got left are for pizza delivery and escort services, when you've started to honestly ask yourself, what is the point? You know you've reached that stage in your life where sooner or later something has got to give. The thought of continuing that way can sometimes be more painful than the thought of not continuing at all. Now, this can happen to anyone at any stage and any age in their life. Maybe things used to be great, but they're not anymore. Or maybe they never have been. Or maybe things aren't that bad, but you're just crying out on the inside that something has to change. It's times like those when a fork in the road appears. You see a video on YouTube about some guy talking about how he took a bold step and moved to another place across the other side of the world, in a distant land where things are better. The seed has been planted, the idea then starts to grow, the concept of the possibility that maybe, just maybe, this could be an option for you. And as the days and the weeks turn into the months, you immerse yourself in all things new life, which fuels the fantasy even further. For some, it's escapism. For others, it's a serious, viable option, or even a way out. If life was really that good where you are now, you wouldn't be looking in the first place. So in your mind, you now have a vision of a place, and it doesn't really matter where that place is. It could be anywhere in the world that's right for you. A place where everything seems to be better. Your money goes further, your dating options increase, the climate's better, and so on. Now cross-reference this with what I said earlier about sitting in an office cubicle or divorce or all the other things that life can throw at you and the situations that you can find yourself in. Is it any wonder why people cling for dear life to the concept of a new life in another country? When we want something, we always seem to project a positive narrative into the future. We imagine ourselves sitting on a beach somewhere, maybe under a palm tree, or being invited to various different gatherings and barbecues of your newfound friends and ever-expanding social circle. Then you meet an exotic beauty and spend the rest of your days enjoying an idyllic life together. Whilst it could be said that this is possible, there is the flip side to all of this. And it's something that I very carefully considered in detail, to the point where I could really feel in the months leading up to my move over here that there was the possibility that not everything may go as planned or turn out how I would have envisaged. It's all part of the risk-reward equation, and most people ignore the risk element purely because focusing on the reward, the good stuff, feels better. It plays to serve their narrative of a better life. But what if it doesn't turn out like that? What if it doesn't go as planned? What if things don't go your way? What if you land in that foreign place full of positive intentions to start your new life, and instead are hit by feelings of dread and uncertainty, anxiety, as things start to go the other way? So picture this. You sat there in your 22 square meter rabbit hutch of a condo in a high rise on the 42nd floor, right in the city centre, let's say in the Philippines. There's a window at one end but no balcony, but it's all you could afford with your budget. It's 33 degrees outside, but real feel with the humidity of around 40 with no breeze. The aircon's on full tilt hour by hour, day by day, eating into your budget more than you would like. Everything's unfamiliar, everything's uncertain. You don't know anyone, and most of the expats that you've encountered so far seem a little bit aloof. And all this attention that you were expecting from the fairer sex just hasn't quite materialized yet. As you sit there on your plastic chair in your studio condo, reality starts to bite, and it bites hard. You ask yourself, what have you done? This is not how it was portrayed by vloggers when you were sat in your comfortable armchair back in your homeland, confidently excited in the midst of making plans for your new move abroad. Every video was just one more opportunity to immerse yourself in 1,001 different variants of the same narrative that fuels your fantasies of a better life, a more fulfilling life, a richer life, a happier life. So far, you've been on a couple of dates maybe, one of them looked promising at first, but she spent the whole time making references to the difficult financial situation she was in, and all the hardships that she was suffering because of it. Every time you tried to steer the conversation to a different direction, it always seemed to navigate itself right back to her needing something. The other unfortunately didn't even turn up for the coffee, and yet you saw her online obviously still continuing her search while chatting to other guys. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. You took it personally. It's hard not to at first. It's the second time it's happened. Wasn't it supposed to be much easier than this? Maybe it's you. Maybe you're not good enough. Your mind starts to race with all kinds of reasons as to why, and then the downward spiral starts to accelerate. You're on your own. You're feeling anxious. It's not going as you planned. You look to the horizon, and it's in that moment that you realize maybe you've made a mistake, a big one. The thing is, it's not a car journey home. It's 2 days of constant travel to a home where you no longer have a home. Panic sets in. What were you thinking? You start to doubt the very fact that you were considering this in the first place. Maybe you should have just stayed put. At least the office cubicle or the divorce or a lonely retirement felt safe. It was familiar, a familiarity you got used to, almost to the point where you miss the comfort in feeling sad. And yet here you are with that same sad, familiar feeling of being lost again. This was supposed to be the solution. It's the start of your new life, your way out. Oh dear, what to do? Rewind. It's okay, because I can tell you that from my own experience that not everything goes according to plan. There will be hurdles to overcome, bumps in the road, and challenges along the way. I've had good days and bad days, times when I've really felt I've got a hold on things, and times when I've lost my grip. The one thing that really kept me going though was the thrill of breaking out of my comfort zone, taking that risk without any guarantee of reward. Continuing on the journey of self-discovery into the unknown, because it's in the unknown where the magic happens. Just one step outside of your comfort zone lies all your greatest potential. However, sometimes life will put obstacles in your way for you to grow and expand in order for you to overcome them. It's only long after, when you look back, you can clearly see that they were lessons. Sometimes there will be occasions where you might be on your own, and you might feel uncomfortable with that. After a while, you look back and realize it was actually an opportunity to get to know yourself, the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. All of these things are part of your journey, and there's no real destination because you never truly arrive. It's more a case of you just keep moving forward and deal with whatever happens, but it's how you deal with it that makes all the difference. If you hold this to the back of your mind when these things occur, then they're not as intimidating or daunting or intense as they otherwise might be, ultimately enabling you to face them with just that little bit more positive frame of mind. It can make all the difference. Very rarely do you hear of the downside, the risk element of the equation, but it's there. So if there are occasions where you can feel things are not going as you'd like them to be, it's just the flip side of the good stuff which you have to go through to get to the other side. When you embark on a journey that can be potentially life-changing, part of embracing the challenge of that is accepting the risk that things may not go entirely according to plan. In fact, sometimes they might get tough, occasionally really tough. It could be a relationship, it could be money issues, even something as important as health. The point I'm trying to make is this. When people set up in business, they're not thinking of bankruptcy. They're envisaging franchises around the world. When people walk down the aisle to get married, they're not thinking about divorce. It's together forever. When people make life-changing plans to move to another country, an exotic country, they're not thinking of the risk of things happening that could bring an end to the journey. So just keep in mind the risk side of the risk-reward equation, because not everything in life goes according to plan. There is a fine line between fantasy and reality. When you actually set foot on soil of that faraway place, the moment you walk out of the airport, it becomes very, very real. In a split second, you realize this is it. And whilst it may not be one giant step for mankind, it will certainly be one giant step for you. And that's what really matters. You're taking that step on the start of your own journey, the journey in your mind where it all begins. After all, the greatest gift that you can offer the world is your own transformation. And even diamonds are created under pressure. So trust the intelligence of the unknown more than the limitations of your past. Take the first step in your journey and just fucking do it.